Welcome to Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron.
The Packers are moving into the NFC Championship game, eliminating the Cowboys 26-21, and Aaron Rodgers says he has 120 minutes left in him. We have the next 30 minutes with you on Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron. I am Brian Groff alongside former Packers and Badgers offensive lineman Bill Ferrario.
Wow, Brian, what a game. Excited to be here. I tell you, this was truly the bring your lunch pail and your hard hat to work type of game this past weekend. It was exciting to watch. It was phenomenal watching Aaron out there with the injury that we know he has and being able to perform the way he did. And always that line performed very well to give him time back there, knowing that he wasn't able to scramble the way he's used to scrambling.
He understood the limitations with the calf and got a lot better in the second half. You could tell he missed some passes early on, but really figured things out in the second half, 226 yards and 2 scores after the halftime.
You know, I think a little bit of it was getting it warmed up really well, and I think the other part was feeling how much he can do and what he can't do, and I think by that second half, he realized he was able to do a little bit more than what he probably started doing off in the first half, where he was able to get a little bit more mobility. He wasn't running the way we know Aaron Rodgers runs, but he was getting outside the pocket enough to be able to have an opening to find that open receiver.
Everybody's still talking about the non-catch by Dez Bryant. We're going to talk about that as well, but we're going to save it a little bit because we want good debate on this.
I'm sure we're going to have some good debate on it.
We're going to have Keith Rordink and our special guest for this evening, and they'll come in and we'll talk about that. The tight ends played a big role in this game. Andrew Corliss, we mentioned with the touchdown, Richard Rodgers as well. That's kind of the X factor. We know what you're going to get at running back. We know what you're going to get at wide receiver, but then their tight ends play like that, and they gave them something extra.
You know, I think this was one of those games where we always need guys to step up at different points in games, and this was a game where we needed everybody to step it up, and I think having the tight ends step up the way they did gave that little bit extra to our offense to be able to put up the points we put up and be able to come out with a victory.
One of the guys that did step it up big time was the receiver, the rookie, Davante Adams. Jana Wimmer now with a report from Lambeau Field. Thank you, Jana. And Randall Cobb with 116 yards, but the big catch. I mean, there were a couple of them there, but that first down on the deflected pass that sealed the game.
That was an exciting catch there. And I really like what Randall Cobb said about Davante Adams not being a rookie. It's been fun this whole season watching him start off as a rookie, earning Aaron Rodgers' trust, having a little trials and tribulations early on, but we get to see that whole development come close to an end here. Not yet, but very close, and just it's fun watching that maturity of these players.
Packers have to go to Seattle. The Seahawks are trying to become the first NFC team to go to the Super Bowl in back-to-back years since the Packers of 96 and 97. We have a member of that Super Bowl team from 96, the champions and the team that returned in 97. We will introduce you to our special guest along with Keith Rordink after these messages here on Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron. Welcome back to Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron. I'm Brian Groff along with Bill Ferrario. And as always, from Packer Report, Keith Rordink, who's featured this week, just like Jana's story, on Davante Adams.
I know. I thought you could have picked someone else. You know, I think fans were ready to file a missing persons report on Davante Adams. He had like 4 catches in the 4 games before that. But, you know, he stepped up so big in that New England game and kind of vanished and picked a great time to come back. I think that 46-yard touchdown that made it 21-20 really kind of signaled that, you know what, this team can win this game.
Our special guest this evening, really excited to have him, a 3rd-round pick in 1995 of the Green Bay Packers, a member of 2 Super Bowl teams, winning Super Bowl 31, former Pro Bowl and All-Pro fullback for the Green Bay Packers, a member of the Packers Hall of Fame class of 2011. Please say hello to William Henderson.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for having me on. Thank you guys for having me on. This is a great situation. Great to see my old teammates. It's always good to see my old teammates.
Well, thanks for visiting. We appreciate that. You have experience playing in an NFC championship game. It's very tough for teams to come back from one Super Bowl to the next. We talked about how the Seahawks are trying to do what your Packers of the 90s did, but you guys did it. Talk about the expectations, the motivation for a team going into the NFC championship game and how they prepare this week going to Seattle.
Going into it, I mean, we had coaches that believed in the fundamental program. They wanted to make sure that our base offense was ironclad, without a doubt, flawless in our execution. Therefore, if we could do it in practice, it took all the pressure off of us for doing it in the games. There shouldn't be any more emphasis placed on your preparation for an NFC championship game than it is to play your first game of the season. You just need to know that by that time of your career and by that time of your season, it should be almost flawless. And that's the way most coaches handle it. And that's the way Mike's going to handle it. He's not going to make this thing any more important than the guys are already going to make it themselves, because they know it's win or go home. And there's really no more pressure than that. They want to represent home. They want to represent themselves. They want to make themselves eligible to get one of those great contracts. Then they need to show up and improve it when the pressure's on, and the pressure will be on.
Well, William, we'll get off football for a second. I know we have the Sweet Frogs yogurt here. I want to ask you, for the fans here.
Heard about it.
You spent a lot of time in Wisconsin. You're back in Virginia now. What made you decide to come back to Wisconsin for Sweet Frogs, and what brings you back here as often as you are back in the state?
What brings me back to Wisconsin? Well, I come back to Wisconsin, first of all, because I love being here. But I did bring my Sweet Frog frozen yogurt. Yeah, look at me. Hey, go my guys. Scoops in the bib overalls. Cookie's my girl. She's in the pretty little dress. Those are our mascots. Sweet Frog frozen yogurt was a program that a buddy of mine started about 6 years ago. And he started with one location, trying to be a good ambassador to the community, giving back. And he said, basically, knowing me, I work with over 150 different charities in the state of Wisconsin, and I can't be everywhere at one time. This was a chance for me to bring his philosophy, Derek's philosophy of go be a business in the community and give back to the community. Bring that attitude and mindset with you with Sweet Frog to Wisconsin and see how it goes. It's been nothing but good success, and we've been well received. We're actually, for those of you guys in Wausau here, we're only located a few minutes down the road off of Highway 39, exit 156, right in Plover. It's a great little location. We're right by Starbucks and GameStop, but right in front of Lowe's and near Walmart. So
and your offensive linemen get free yogurt.
Right? Our offensive line get what they want, because without them, we are nothing. And I'm still trying
to
hear
that, Keith?
So when they wipe you
without
out,
even high school offensive linemen.
Well, they eat up most of your profits, but they do from time to time come in and buy something very, very rare because they're cheap. Offensive linemen, I'm just joking. Again, we like to run fundraisers through our program, whether it be a school, municipal program, little league program, or a single mother or father who's struggling to pay the bill. If he can get his friends to come out, rally behind him, come over to Sweet Frog, we'll set up a spirit day for him. He can invite his friends to come out. They buy the product. We'll give them 20% off the top to go home and hopefully help out. We love giving back to the community. I love giving back to the community because I will say this, and I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to always say it. I love giving back to the Packer community because the Packer community is the best darn football community in the world. They supported me when I played. They supported all the Packer organization when we were good and when we were bad, because you guys remember the 70s and 80s when the Packers didn't shine as much. Hey, we're very spoiled right now that guys like Aaron Rodgers, guys like Starks and so many others. I don't want to get all the names, but there's so many talented guys that are playing well, playing hard, and right now we're looking to play a wonderful NFC Championship game against the Seattle Seahawks.
And William, you're in the area with Sweet Frogs, and you're talking about the guys, and I know you're still close to the team and connected to the team. With that NFC Championship game coming up, Eddie Lacy's going to be such an important part of that game.
Little Eddie Lacy, little bitty guy.
Little Eddie Lacy.
Eddie.
John Kuhn, making All-Pro this year, you've got to take a little special pride when you watch the team, when you see what they do, when you see another fullback, everybody yelling Kuhn, cheering for him like they used to cheer for you.
Let me start with Kuhn. John Kuhn came in, didn't expect to make the team. They had Corey Hall plagued to be the guy. John, he did whatever he did. He impressed everybody because he was willing to get the job done, learning the offense. People didn't know he was coming off a Super Bowl season playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he was determined to enjoy that success and bring that successful attitude to Green Bay. I have done nothing but enjoyed getting to know John Kuhn. He and I have traveled together for the last couple of years with Packer fan tours. I'm actually like the unofficial travel guy for the Green Bay Packers. People don't understand that. If you want to have a great time, come hang out with me. I'm taking 6 of the guys. We're going down to Mexico in about a month or so here, and we're going to go. But we invite all the fans to come down and hang out with us. But it's a great time. But, yeah, it's just amazing. But getting to know John over the years, seeing him getting nothing but better and better. He is tried and true, determined to make the organization better. And Aaron can't say enough great things about him because Aaron is healthy so many times because John is willing to lay down life, body, and harm, worry about nothing to make sure that he keeps his quarterback and his running back safe. So there's a lot of love for that guy. For me, too.
As athletes, you grew up and you love playing the game and you make it into the NFL and then you can play in a Super Bowl. But when you win that title, What does it do to your life?
Okay, Super Bowl, I was very spoiled, first and foremost. My first year, 1995, NFC Championship game, lose to Dallas. I don't like Dallas Cowboys. I never will. And yes, it wasn't a catch, but we'll talk about it in a minute.
We're coming up to it.
But it was a beautiful start. And then the next year, Super Bowl champions. The craziest thing about it, every one of the guys that I played my first 2-3 years with, I'm on literally a weekly conversation with in some capacity. You never lose touch. You create friendships because literally you started the mission together. You bled, you sweated, you cried, you had fear together, you prayed together, whatever. That galvanized us for life. And I've made a lot of associations along the way. Great guys, met amazing guys throughout my career. But it's something special about winning a Super Bowl with a group of guys. I've talked to guys. I've been in conversations with several guys on other teams who've won championships. And won't get into a lot of names because the only one we care about is the Packer championships. But those guys all say the same thing. There's a little bit extra special quality about playing and getting to know the guys that you win the big game with.
And I think the nice thing as a player that played with Will, that he did win and had a lot of success early. When you came in to the Packers as a new player, you saw a guy like William Henderson. You knew he was a leader. You watched his work ethic. You listened to what he said. And he was definitely one of those guys that you looked up to. And you knew if you did half of what he did work-wise, that you had a chance of being successful. It was an honor to play with a guy like Will, and you learn a lot from watching a guy like that in the locker room.
That's why I love this guy. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. This is the best show in all TV. You guys need to be watching it. You need to be praising it, and you definitely need to be coming out and enjoying it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you, sir.
I want to ask you one more thing. As you go on, you finish up your career, and you get the call. You talk about the history of the franchise. And to be a part of the Packers Hall of Fame, describe getting that call and what that moment was like when you were inducted.
I'm a very humble player, first and foremost. When I first came to the Packers, one of the biggest things they do for you, I'm a history nut. I used to watch The Longest Yard, Ray Nitschke, out there playing with, celebrity actors, but he was football. He's the iconic football player. Getting to watch The Longest Yard and all those other things and looking at Packer history, watching those guys. First guys they introduced me to were guys like Fuzzy Thurston, Ray Nitschke. My mind is still blown that I got to meet these great men who basically the foundation of the league is based on their hard work and effort, their health. And then they go and they show you like the Ring of Honor, and you get to learn about the Packer Hall of Fame. Packer Hall of Fame is nicer than Canton's Hall of Fame. It's one of the most spectacular places you could ever go. To be associated with that group of guys is just an amazing, amazing feeling because not everybody gets it, and you know the impact that those players had on the history of the game. For me, getting that call, it was, I lost my mom my senior year of college. I'll get to the sappy part. There's certain things that you want to share with your mom, certain things you want to share with your parents who gave everything up so that you could be successful. Mm-hmm. And that was one of those moments then you think my mom died too early because it would have been so amazing just to praise her as I accepted that award for all that she did. So that's the kind of thing that came to me. But, again, knowing that I was about to be up on the stage, Marco Rivera, I went in with the same time with him. And, one, going in with a teammate, and two, being recognized as one of the best players in Packer history. You guys can take it from here. I'm still humble and I'm still in awe, but I'm still so proud to be associated with that organization.
You can tell how much it means to you. We're going to turn our attention now to the Titletown topic so we can get into a little bit of debate.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's do topic number one. It's the play everyone's talking about, some calling it a bad rule, ruled correctly. Tony Romo's pass to Des Bryant on 4th and 2. We'll start with Bill. Do you agree with the call, or was it karma coming around to bite Dallas?
I agree with the call because of the rule, but I say it was clearly 100% a catch. The rule says it was not a catch. So however you want to interpret that, I think it's as confusing as the rule. But to me, he made a football act. He was reaching out. Divot came up. He stretched out, took steps. But the rule, it was not a catch.
You thought he
So
completed
I
the
agree-
process.
I felt he did, but the rule.
Someone's ready.
With the rule, I clearly
somebody
understand the rule.
No. He played for Dallas. He was in Green Bay. Our rules, our house. Go home. Boo-hoo. Ha-ha. Now, I will say this. In college, if he was a Badger, and then that was in Camp Randall, that was a catch. In high school, playoffs, you know what? To be honest with you, Ash Wabanon High School, that's a catch. The rules have changed. The NFL makes the rules. The wide receivers get so much carte blanche opportunity to catch the ball uninhibited, It's a receiver-quarterback league right now. So they made one rule a little tougher for them to prove that it was a catch. Now, by that rule and by that situation, he should have controlled the ball. That's it.
Exactly, and it's all about that. I mean, he had two hands on it. He took the third step. For me, when he makes that third step, that's when you really think he's probably got the ball. But he comes down and he hits the ground, and it clearly pops out. He wasn't extending for the end zone. He fell. It popped out. He didn't have control. I mean, the rule's pretty cut and dry.
It's
no
pretty
catch.
cut and dry. We were in the booth arguing. We were in the box. It was an alumni box. All the guys were sitting up there watching the game, and there was a lot of back and forth. There was a couple of friends associated with some of the players. They invited Dallas Cowboy fans to come in our box. What a stupid thing. Really? But anyway, some of the Dallas Cowboy fans in the stands were like, "That was a catch. That was a catch." I had to go back and basically break down the rule, Google it, look it up, but I'm going to let you know, guys, it's going to come back. And when they looked at the play, they saw he made step, but even in his transition, pulling the ball down and extension, he didn't truly show possession of the ball. So when it finally hit the ground and it dislodged, the Green Bay Packers
Referee William Henderson.
Yeah.
That was only our first topic. We have two more to discuss. We'll do it after this break.
See it?
It was not a drop.
As always.
Did he drop the ball?
Not a drop.
Replay.
Not my
Trick
bill.
photography. Oh, that was not a drop.
No. That was in the bag.
It was
in
not
the
a
pocket.
catch. It was not.
Tuck
He
rule,
didn't
right,
complete the process of the.
So this means that it's time for Bill's breakdown. And this one, we see Aaron Rodgers with the arm strength. Obviously, he doesn't have the mobility that we're normally used to seeing, but it's a touchdown to Richard Rodgers.
Like we've seen all season, especially on this play, line protects well. What's impressive about Aaron is even with that injury, he has the ability to move just enough to have that window, the throwing lane window. But then I tell you, it sure seems like he puts a little bit of extra juice on it, and he gets it right in that window for the receiver to be able to make the catch. And it's a great catch by Rodgers in the end zone. Perfect timing, perfect play.
He could have done the discount double check if he wanted to. Yeah. But the fact is, mobility-wise, he steps side shuffled a couple of times, and really, as Bill said, it was tricep, a little bit of oblique in the ball is traveling 25 yards on a rope. The guy has tremendous arm strength.
For our Fox 55 pick'ems, I think Bill could do the double check. You went 4-0 last weekend.
I should be able
Wow.
to. Hey,
there we go.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games.
Unfortunately, you're way down at the bottom.
Well, but we had that we had the whole points thing where early on I thought we were picking with points.
Yeah,
and then
right.
it was like week 6 I learned that. So
yeah, exactly. So only two games to pick this week, and Jana has her picks signed, sealed, and delivered ahead of time. So we're going to start with her, and she's going with the Patriots over the Colts, as am I.
See, you're a game up on me.
I'm one game up. Don't overthink it.
But I think the Patriots are going to win, so I got to go with them. Brady and the evil
William, you're
genius.
up next.
You know
Who
what?
you think's going to win?
Luck is on the go. I like Indianapolis. I like young Luck. I like how that team is galvanized. They had a little dark set going on for a couple of games, but I see those guys pulling this one out.
I think the veteran Brady is going to pull it out.
All right.
Patriots.
All right. And then into the game we've all been waiting for. Jana's going Packers. I'm going Packers as well.
I'm worried about the calf. But I was wrong when I picked the Patriots.
Yeah,
so
you're not doing that twice.
My kids booed me.
Well, I
Daddy.
never go against my green and gold, so it's a lock.
Pack all the way.
All right. All Packers, and of course you
got
can
my
see
hotel for
Packers
Arizona. I'm
Seahawks
going, baby.
on Fox 55 at 2:05 on Sunday afternoon. Our thanks to William Henderson. Thanks for joining us this evening.
It's a lot.
Thanks to you for watching. Have a great week.
Nice job.
Thank you for watching Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron.